Hello, everyone, and a special hello to all of the Capricorns out there. This is your general tarot reading. This is what Spirit wants you to know and what Spirit wants you to hear. So let's dive right into this beautiful reading that I feel is going to come forward for us. Whether it's a healing message, a love message, something general, let's just dive deep. And we are going to start with the What's the Vibe deck for what it is you need to know, what it is you need to hear. Okay, so we have some interesting energies here for you, Capricorn. We have the Lust card, and it says greed by any means necessary, and it says inconsiderate. And I gotta tell you, so as I'm recording this, we are entering into this strawberry moon energy here. And this is very profound, when it comes to love and relationships and just how love is meant to flow into your life at this present moment. And so, what I'm sensing here with this opening card is there's some sort of connection that you are in currently. And it feels as if it's been fueled by this intense desire and intense physical attraction. I'm sensing a thread of energy of obsession. And somebody was prioritizing instant gratification or control instead of prioritizing sacred intimacy. So, what this means, this feeling that I'm feeling, is that someone acted out of impulse and not from alignment. And it feels like with this card, Capricorn, that you may be questioning whether they mistook passion for partnership, because I'm sensing there's a lot of passion between you two. And the next card says waves, it says emotions, it says fear, it says worry. So, I'm sensing a push-pull dynamic. I'm sensing that something here, because of this impulse, it's like there's moments that this looks like a deep connection, but then there's moments of distance. There's moments of emotional upheaval. I'm sensing stuff centered around guilt, confusion, internal conflict, something not being fully expressed here. And this feels like the aftermath energy of impulsive choices or an unresolved longing, is what this feels like. But see, we have the soulmate card, and this is interesting. So it says twin flame, friendship, romantic partner. So I'm feeling like you're coming into this revelation or this realization that there is actually a genuine soul connection here, where even this other person may now be realizing that there's something deeper that is at play here, but that it wasn't fully honored from the beginning, especially with this lust card. It's like this intense attraction with this other person, and somebody just jumped into something, like I'm getting like the fool's energy where you just sort of like jump into something and you don't really, kind of know like what you're jumping into. So it's almost like, a test of faith in a sense, but this is more like somebody not realizing the weight of something, this type of thread of energy. So this is really interesting here. So I want to see if we can get more information on this type of energy. Okay, Spirit, so let's see what you have for Capricorn here. So we have the Suffering and Silence card. It says unspoken desires, real feelings, broken dreams. We also have the Shattered card. It says broken nightmares, failures, and okay, we have another card. It says apology. It says arrogant, rash actions, insincere. Okay, so the picture is very clear here, Capricorn. It looks like this connection was actually meant to shake loose hidden truths. And I'm getting this feeling where someone here may have used lust or emotional avoidance to mask what was real. Because what's really going on here is that this is some sort of divine connection, some sort of soul bond. And someone now is stuck in their own consequences. Someone is longing. Someone feels really ashamed for what they've done. And so it feels like there's a lot of emotional repression. It feels like there's this unfulfilled longing where someone never voiced their truth. And now they're haunted by that choice that they made. This is like a self abandonment type of wound or energy that I'm feeling. And so I'm sensing there's this emotional fallout between you and this person. There could be levels of betrayal, rejection, fear. Someone has been really spiritually fragmented within this connection. And I'm sensing trauma. I'm sensing anxiety. I'm sensing guilt ridden dreams. Someone allowed something to fall apart here and they're bleeding inside because of this. That's what it feels like. And so there's a lot of pride energy that I'm feeling, but it's also met with regret. So someone really knows that they've hurt someone here in this connection. But see, somebody is too stubborn, or I'm sensing emotionally unavailable to really apologize and come forth with something sincere. So if this person, Capricorn, if we're talking about this other person, which it does feel like their energy, if they do apologize, it may come off as shallow or deflective of any kind of real accountability. But see, I'm also sensing a thread where it feels like this could be you, Capricorn, or at least a small number of you. Maybe you're letting your pride get the best of you when it comes to this particular scenario. Okay, two more cards had dropped out as I was putting this deck up because I'm getting ready to switch to the tarot. And so these cards here, okay, so this is really major energy here. We have the Karmics card, and it says third parties, haters, lesson learned. And then we have the Narcissist card. It says egotistical, opportunist, and it says fragile. So, yeah, this really sums up the whole energetic energy here, the shadow elements of this particular connection. So, with the Karmics card, this is a very loud message here of some sort of influence, and it feels like it's external. And, this could be friends, exes, this could be, toxic patterns, addictions, or some third level party, interference or whatever. But this is basically saying here that there is some sort of soul contract here that's drenched in karmic tests. And with this narcissist card, I'm sensing that there's like a divine masculine here, a divine masculine energy. And, even though we're talking about an energy dynamic, this divine masculine can be a female. It doesn't have to be a male. And so, it feels like someone wanted to wear the crown of control when it came to this connection. But beneath the surface, they're actually very fragile. They're very reactant. They're very emotionally avoidant. So this could be your energy, Capricorn, or, you could have displayed some of the energy here, because I am getting a divergent, thread of energy where it feels like this could be some Capricorns that we're talking about. But primarily I'm sensing that this could be the other person. And so somebody really sabotaged this connection with pride, manipulation, and a fear of vulnerability. And this person that we're speaking to, they attract a lot of karmic energy is what it feels like. And they operate within illusion and not truth. And so right now, this, spread is really, foretelling to me that you're going through some sort of spiritual purge right now. Someone is really waking up from a cycle of lust, confusion, false promises, manipulative energies, and they're really being invited right now to cut the cord the karmic cords within this connection, to reclaim their sovereignty and truth, and to not wait for any sort of false apologies or, surface level energies when it comes to this particular connection. So this is very, very, interesting, deep energy that I'm feeling too. So let's switch into the tarot and see what comes out there for you, Capricorn. Okay, switching to the tarot, we have the Wheel of Fortune reversed and the King of Wands in the reverse position. So this is very clear to me, Capricorn. Okay, so either you or this other person that we're speaking to, because again, there's this divergent thread of energies here where it feels like a small number of you, this is whom we're talking about, but the majority of you, we're talking about the other person. And so I'm sensing there's a lot of karmic looping going on right now, and it's deeply tied to a very toxic, egoic, masculine archetype. There's no growth here unless something is confronted, released, or forgiven. And so, this particular masculine energy, they appear very volatile, they appear very demeaning, they are very emotionally unavailable. And this person is really using manipulation through charm or intimidation. They're showing a lot of hot and cold behavior. They're showing lust over love. They're someone that really thrives on attention but doesn't want to commit to growth or any kind of truth. And so, combined with this Wheel of Fortune, it really points that this karmic masculine archetype that we're talking about right here is someone who keeps showing up in new disguises, emotionally, energetically, physically, but they remain a spiritual anchor rather than a catalyst for ascension. So they're really just no good for your spiritual overall growth, is what this feels like. There's a lot of stagnation here. There's a lot of repetition of karmic cycles that's going on right now. There's a lot of resisting to the natural flow of destiny, is what it feels like. And so, Capricorn, right now, you could be ignoring a lot of red flags. You could be resisting, listening to your intuition, is what this feels like. It really feels like someone is just stuck in a loop, and there's just a lot of denial. There's a lot of fear, and there's a lot of, just something that it hasn't really fully been released, because it really feels like spirit is saying, just with these two cards alone, that you know what you need to do, but are you actually doing it? Are you actually letting go of what no longer serves you? Or out of fear of being alone, of not having someone or not being seen, or, a fear of not being attached to somebody, are you just clinging to the hope that something will shift here? Now, I mean, with this Wheel of Fortune, the wheel is always spinning, but right now, it's spinning negatively. It's not showing me anything in this particular reading that anything actually positively is going on for you right now, other than the fact that this is some sort of soul bond. But not all divine connections are relatively positive. But what I mean by that is that, every spiritual connection that you have, every soul bond that you have, it's meant to teach you something. And so right now, I feel like you're going through a lot of lessons that you may have already actually really have learned, but you're just choosing right now, maybe out of comfort, is what it feels like, to just kind of, sit in this lower vibrational energies that spirit is wanting you to expand out of right now. Okay, Capricorn, we have the study card, and I know this sounds really interesting to get this particular card, but this card says a new endeavor is upon you, and it may require new knowledge and skills. Put the intention out to the universe, and the right teacher will find you. So, this is a really beautiful card. This is a direct message from spirit, your spirit team, soul tribe, your guides, and they are all saying here that you're not meant to stay in this type of chaos that's going on within this connection here. You're meant to actually transcend it. And this is like the first step here that you have to take because spirit is really urging you to seek some form of external validation away from this connection that's going to lead to a spiritual self mastery. So, what this means is you may need to do some research of your own to see how you can break out of this particular soul contract, possibly deepening your esoteric or intuitive knowledge, you know, doing a lot of shadow work, expanding whatever spiritual gifts that you have, mediumship, dream work, tarot, whatever that looks like for you. And whatever this new endeavor is, it's something that is going to help you alchemize and transform a lot of what has transpired within this connection. So, this is actually a beautiful card to get. And so, whatever you feel called to, whatever you feel drawn to, that's what Spirit is saying you should cling to in order to help assist you get out of this particular connection because you're not meant to stay here. So let's take a look and see what is most likely to happen for you, Capricorn, based off of this current energy if you do choose to expand from this connection. And we have here the 10 of Pentacles in the reverse position. So, yes, it's very quite clear to me, Capricorn, what will happen based on this current energy here. So, if you choose to expand beyond this connection, there will be a period of detachment from material expectations where it may look like you experience some sort of loss, some sort of L, so to speak. And really, it's not an L, it's not a loss. It's not any kind of thing like that in that kind of connotation when in this reading. This is a chance for you to rebuild your identity and your values from the soul, but from the outward expression rather than from status, rather than from wealth or external approval from others. And this is really your chance right here to walk away from what looks like it's secure, but is actually very spiritually bankrupt in order to create a new foundation that's rooted in truth, sovereignty, and a lasting fulfillment, is what this feels like. But see, I'm also sensing here, Capricorn, that you were chosen. You were meant to break away from a lot of these karmic patterns because I really feel like it's tied to a lot of dysfunctional family structures, to, toxic relationship models, or a misaligned idea of what success or stability should look like within a relationship. And so you were chosen to break away from those patterns here, is what this feels like, Capricorn. And I just wanted to clarify this energy. We have the Smell the Roses card, which is a very beautiful energy. And it says, slow down, take some time out, get into nature. And so this is very beautiful. Okay. So leaving this connection really is going to open doors for radical self nourishment here, which is definitely very much needed, is what I'm sensing. And so what comes next is not about building a legacy through external means or through others, but it's really rediscovering your legacy through presence. And so this is definitely a call to pause, to regenerate, to reconnect with the earth, your body, with spirit. Your value is not measured by productivity or your relationship status. It's really from your groundedness, from your joy in the present moment. This is just really beautiful energy. And so, even though it may look on the outside as if, like, it's just not what it's meant to be, it's actually where you always were meant to be, Capricorn, is what this feels like. I'm not sure if I can put it in better words than that, but I'm really sensing a happier ending, even though it may not look like it in the material sense. But you're always going to feel grounded and whole within yourself if you do decide to expand upon this particular connection, because this connection really is doing nothing but depleting your energy. And it's really sad, to feel, like I'm an intuitive reader, so I really can feel this energy very heavily. So okay, we're going to conclude the reading here. We're going to draw one final oracle card to wrap up this reading. Okay, now this is a very direct message from your guides, this last card, and it's the enabling card. It says, there is someone you're helping, or are you? In reality, you may be enabling them to continue in negative patterns and never take full responsibility for themselves. Step back and let things play out. That's a very direct message there, because what I'm sensing here is part of this soul contract was almost like this mirror that you held for this other person. And in a sense, it enabled them to really showcase a lot of their lower vibrational energies. But if you take a step back, if you really allow this person to hold that mirror themselves, essentially they'll have to either look in that mirror or continue cycling through something that you're not meant to carry weight anymore, Capricorn. So you are the conscious creator of your life, so you get to decide how this plays out. But I am sending you lots of love, light, and happiness. I hope something here truly resonates for you. And I will see you all in the next video.